not mistaken.
But but whoever agreed to that study allowed you to keep really high rates for the second irrigation meters. It didn't seem to matter. Okay, let the people on the with these irrigation meters subsidize and help pay for the rest of it. I'd like to see what a study can do to lessen the base rates and tier the water. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we were promised.
Through the Mayor,
Study.
Councilwoman, I don't want you to think that the study has not been done. Mr. Chambers.
It was done one way. I'd like it done
Okay.
with
No, but
our
you
objectives.
indicated that you had been lied to, that a study had not been conducted based upon what you asked. It has.
Not
What-
a revised study?
Yes, what Mr. Chambers did in his preliminary stages was that he checked with the SRF. There are a lot of variables that are conducting, number one, to go back and revise it. It affects the SRF loan, as he explained to me. It affects a lot of different issues. So he came, instead of conducting the study, he came back to preliminary, let me know what it would impact. I told him, don't conduct it until after this meeting, which was scheduled 3 weeks ago, so we would know how to move forward. If we have him conduct a study, the fruits of that, Mr. Chambers, would be what? What would it impact? The SRF agreement, as you had indicated?
He will be $30,000 richer.
No,
Just kidding.
it's not.
That's what's
It's not
gonna
me. I'm employed.
And if we don't do a
Okay.
study, then
The-
we're not,
the-
then all this is just
No.
a waste to just explain
the-
why everybody's paying $700 to $1,000 a quarter to water the lawn.
The study
May-
has been conducted.
May I?
It will, doing the study and changing the study, we would have to go back, as Mr. Chambers explained, go back to our state revolving fund. We have agreements that we've already entered into. We have funding that we have already received. We would have to redo the study, then go back to the state and ask the state to redo their agreements. If you want to pay $30,000 for that, is what he's indicating, he came back and he did, I mean, he could have made himself richer and just to do it and then say, hey, guess what, after this study, you can't just implement it. You got to go back and go through all of your agreements with the state.
That's what we've been talking about for the last 6 months. So that means we're not doing anything.
I'm not saying that at all, Councilwoman. What I'm saying is that based upon the information that he gave me, he could have conducted the study. He did some research to indicate what that study and the change of anything that we do here would mean. And it would mean a lot. We would have to go back to the state. We would have to, hopefully that they would redo our agreements. So he gave me that information a few weeks ago. I told him to not conduct a study to see what the council wanted to do.
Mr.
So-
Chambers, through the mayor, is there a recommendation you can make to help alleviate the situation for the second water meter owners?
Okay. As it relates to what the city manager just described, we did discuss it. I did highlight some general considerations that, you know, as a utility you'd have to look at and consider. We didn't go and run and provide exact details or scenarios of what the exact rates would look like if they were to be reduced at different levels and what the impact to customers would have been. As such, and I'll get to the recommendation, but as such, as it relates to your SRF loans, there are processes you'll have to go through to deal with those issues. And again, it's a policy decision for the council. If the council's wish is to look at the analysis and, you know, try to determine, you know, what action can be taken given all the general considerations, that is something we could do. But I can't come and give a recommendation right now to say you have to do that study or you should not do that study, because I really think it's a policy decision that has to be taken or that should be taken.
So you've already done the study. Is there something you can do, make a recommendation that would cost us $5,000 or $10,000 to restructure the rates? I mean, the study's been done. So I mean, can't you just restructure give us some other scenarios of different rates?
The thing about in this case, it would be extremely sensitive, and we'd have to consider the impacts that all the customers serve, because adjusting the rates, as you said, to irrigation would have a shortfall, and we would have to make sure that that shortfall is recovered. So as a result, I would not recommend go about taking an approach for $5,000 to do something quick and dirty, because that would not be sufficient. We'd have to have enough customer billing information and all the information we would require to make sure that upon looking at these alternatives, we have all the facts and all the information to make an informed decision.
The impression, let me ask you, Mr. Manager, the impression from the different comments I've heard while on the east side, it's like they're paying more money for the water than what the people from the west side are paying. Is that?
No.
I'm just asking because it's a myth, and I'm just trying to, because we're having this discussion today. On Thursday, I'm having a town hall meeting as well for the people to come and talk about their water bill. The impression is that we're making the people from the east side pay because they have bigger house, better house. They're on the east side compared to the people who are living on the west side, who are not paying anything for the waters almost, that we dump the bill on them.
Sure.
Explain that to me, please.
Everybody, the tier rate is equitable across the city.
Did I just pay $700 and something dollars, Dr. Claude, for water?
Yeah. The rate,
$742.
Yes, the rate is equitable across the system. To break down in a more layman term what Mr. Chambers is saying, the study that he would do is to say this: we've got all of these second meters. What would it cost to take away the second meter base charge? Mm-hmm. Now you have a loss of revenue. Then Mr. Chambers' study, as he explained to me, would go back and say, how do we now redo the water rate system so that that loss is equally distributed across the entire system? His concern is this. He says, Mr. Johnson, right now, we know how many second irrigations you have. But what happens if I take the study right now and go take the city's money and come back based upon what you have now and come up and say, this is what it's going to cost to recover that $400,000 or $500,000. His concern is, but then if you take away the base of the second meter, people are going to say, wow, I want a second meter. You could conceivably have 4 or 5 more thousand people that goes and gets a irrigation meter who otherwise would not get one. And how do you recover that cost? So it's a non-ending situation.
So if the people who have a second meter were to remove that second meter, because that has been also the thought among the people that feel that they are paying a lot, I'm just asking, what impact would that have on their water bills? Would it be lower, more? What is the impact of removing the second meter, which many people are considering of doing?
And it would be more money, including if you take away the second meter, and although they're paying a base charge for that meter, if you were to have that same consumption, assumably on 1 meter, you would pay more money because you would be charged for the sewer.
Is it everywhere in the city has a second meter, like all the 2,000 meters, the residential? Is it that's a total?
It's 1,000.
1,000 residential, 2,000, yeah.
I mean, for the entire city?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what is the difference between the seawater, the salt water, and the water from the wells that yellows the houses?
some people cannot dig down and have a, what we call well water for irrigation because it's salt water. So you dig down in certain sections of the city, and I believe that boundary is Northeast 6th Avenue all the way east. If you go and get a well water as irrigation, which is free, it's going to cost, it's salt water. So that's the saltwater intrusion district according to the state's information. People west of 6th Avenue, they could either get an irrigation, or most people have well water, which they have their own system, their own pump, and they're not charged for it.
We have not answered the questions of the gentleman who has 1 meter and is being charged for 2 meters because he has a duplex.
Thank you. Based on the information that I just heard from this gentleman that did the study, and the former mayor said, it just impacted and reinforced my situation even more. You cannot make an assumption based on the fact that I have 2 units that I'm going to have more water go through the system, and you're going to charge me for more. Because if I only have a 3/4 inch meter, an assumption was made back in 1942 when they built the home that that's all I needed to supply my 3-bedroom, 2-bath house and one, well, I don't even know if there was a bedroom on it. It was a guest house on my garage. So basically, if you count everything I have now, I have 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. That is going to be factored in my usage. So I have a 3/4 inch pipe, I have 1 meter, and I have 4 bedrooms. If someone has a 1.5 inch meter in Keystone or Sans Souci because they have a 6-bedroom house, you're going to get that usage based on the impact on the system and the usage of their water and what's going to go back through the sewer. And I'm on 10th Avenue, and I do have a well, so I don't think it's 6th Avenue is your divider.
This gentleman has a very unique situation. And it's very unique, and I certainly understand, and I will continue to look at it. He has, based upon our code, 2 units. Based upon our code.
But he have 4 bedrooms.
Well,
Total.
he's incorporating 2 units.
I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house and a detached garage with a living room and a bedroom.
And because it's detached, our code considers that to be a separate unit. So therefore, it has a charge for having a meter at that unit, because he could rent that unit out and it would get its own water bill.
But I don't have it. I'm not renting it out. I don't have a second meter. If I didn't choose to do that and I only have 1 address, why am I being charged in a presumption that I could use a second meter? That's like telling these people that the second irrigation meter that they.
May I just add? Again, you travel around the country and you do these studies and you hear the same story, and I totally understand your concern, and it comes down to the gentleman's comment as it relates to the engineering design of your property and the building code classification. The current building code classification would have your unit, for example, classified as 2 living units, a duplex with 2 living units, and not 1 single-family home. As such, before this study was done, you are being charged on a per living unit basis or a per single-family house basis. As a result of it, that's the primary reason why you are being charged in that manner. Secondly, I understand your concern that yes, it's 1 pipe and it's 1 meter, but there are city services that are.
I'll stop you right there. I'm being charged extra for sanitation. I'm being charged. I've got when you're doing a recovery and needing to have money for the new water plant, I got a double charge for the recovery fee. Okay. So there is absolutely no logic in what you're saying, because I was also told by Mr. Johnson that if I had a duplex that was one unit, one building, and it wasn't detached, you're still charging them the same way, and I only have 1 meter. So this is totally illogical. You cannot tell me that it makes any sense that based on my needs, if I have a 3/4 inch pipe, I should be charged based on a 3/4 inch pipe and my consumption. And I'm being charged on the sewer side, and I'm being charged double sanitation because of having 2 units. So there's absolutely no logic in what you're saying.
So, John, I want to try to bring some focus here. Can we rewrite our code and come up with some language that might address a more unique situation like this?
I would recommend, and as I am looking into, to maybe look at Mr. Andressi's situation separately, and maybe make an administrative decision, because it opens up too many doors.
Agreed. Let's move on.
Okay, so we agree. We agree.
Administrative decision for
Yeah.
his particular case.
So let's.
And I'm not a single, I may be the only voice here, but there are other people in the city being affected the same way. If you're going to change it for me, you need to change it for everyone.
We'll take care of it case by
We're
case.
taking back the administrative decision. and we're going to say, no, this honestly, because you're right.
Yeah.
Look, we're not going to do spot zoning. We're going
Yep.
to change the code.
I agree.
So direction to staff, come back with some new language that could address these situations.
Okay, so.
If you got a duplex with 2 addresses and you got 2 meters, you're getting 2 base charges and you're getting the same. I'm still paying double sanitation.
You've already won your victory, and
Thank you.
we got a ways to go in tonight's meeting, so I'm sorry.
All right.
All right, anybody else with any further comment on this? Seeing none, we're moving
Good.
on to the next item on the agenda.
Thank you.
Tab
Very
W,
good.
discussion and approval of diaspora.
Before we move on, one point of clarification. If the Florida building codes determine that his situation is a duplex, then we cannot
So
circumvent
be it.
the Florida building code.
That's
As a
right.
commission, we cannot do that.
That's when
That's
we'll ask
right.
for an administrative decision.
Okay. Just a clarification.
And I think
Guys, we got to move on. We've got the biggest item of the night to go, and
I'm
it's
sorry.
1 a.m.
No, and I think that final question was the last on the list of questions.
Well, how did we resolve
Okay.
the second 1
Now,
meter?
are we walking here with no answers? The idea was nobody walks here without an answer.
Yep.
So what is the
We have it
final?
in-
The conclusion is, Mayor, that we have been bound by regulatory agencies to commit to a study. We've conducted that study. It came before this board. It was passed by this board. A lot of things is out of our control, such as what we just mentioned about the building code. So everything that we've done with the water bill is based upon regulatory requirements. If
Run by the state.
people, they have options. Their bill, they can have 1 meter, or they can have 2 meters. We are doing what all cities do. We've conducted the analysis prior to your election, that we wanted to go out and look if other cities charge for a base charge. We brought that before this board, and we've shown that our rates are in mid-range. It's comparable. We're doing what all cities do, and they charge for the base meter charge. We will proceed, and I feel that you have satisfactorily addressed this, and we will have Mr. Chambers, Black and Veatch, go out, and we'll give them this money to come back with what we know it's going to be,
Okay.
if that's your desire.
Okay, this is what I would like to see happen. I would hate for any resident to come to the city or to City Hall who has questions regarding their bills, not to have anybody answering it. And this have been the problem, and of course, every situation, every resident has a particular situation. And one of the things that I've asked for this city to do is customer service.
Yes.
And we have not been good at it, because I've been a customer here for so many years. And I know each department and who does what, who cannot do what, and how they receive you when you have a concern. And I can understand as well their frustration when they're trying to reach out to somebody and no one is giving them an answer, or they're getting the running around.
Sure.
So if we are going to do the study, until we get the study results, I would like any residents who comes to the city. I know for the Haitian American community, we have Mr. Prudent going through the bills with them, explaining them how to read it, or the billing cycle of the bills. We need to have somebody as well, when the residents called here or comes here, that are able to answer their questions.
Sure, Mayor. And I will
Because
say that Ms. Camille Seguinu is on board with us now. She has done a phenomenal job. I have received no complaints in the past month. We have made payment arrangements with individuals to come in and pay their bill if they,
That's correct.
if they expressed a hardship. She's done a phenomenal job at that. She has also been addressing a lot of the concerns that people, I haven't gotten any in the past 30 days. I don't know if your office has, but it's been resolved.
Wonderful. Thank you. And welcome on board. Thank you.
Tab W, discussion and approval of Diaspora Cup Festival, November 30th, 20.
We're doing
Don't wait.
Biscuit
No.
Landing.
It's going to be late.
That's
Mayor-
not
Call
what we
me
did?
tomorrow.
Yes,
Mayor
we did.
informed me
We
to
have
start
it.
from
We have
V
it.
to Y. So do you want me to continue, or what do you guys want me to do?
Biscuit Landing.
Oh.
We said that we were gonna do Biscuit Landing after this item. Why you got on
I'm
like
waiting
them?
for directions from you, Mayor. What do you want me to do?
What is it that we have to discuss about this landing? That's not right. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but they're here. We have
And-
them waiting. We can't just. We have.
They don't have a presentation for today.
No,
Do
but
you
they
folks
have
have
a
a presentation?
They have a discussion.
As a
Madam
matter of
Mayor.
fact, they have asked to be removed from the agenda. You guys insisted because they want to punish you.
No.
So if we're going to be giving punishment, let me go with the Diaspora Cups.
Tab
Get over
W,
it.
discussion and
that's
approval of Diaspora Cup
That's
Festival,
right.
November 30th, 2013 at the FIU North Miami Stadium.
Okay.
Is this substantially any different than what we've done for them in the past years, Mr. Manager?
Yes.
What's
What's different is that they have heard the community's concern. They would like to switch the date to Saturday. And so opposed to being on a Sunday night.
It used to be on a Sunday?
It used to be on a Sunday night. The
because
complaints
the
that
kids go to
came in,
school on Monday.
kids go to school on Monday.
Okay.
So he's asking for a repeat of what he's done in the years past.
Okay.
So the only thing is for him to have it on a Saturday instead of a Sunday?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the only thing that is different?
No, what I'm asking as city manager, I want you to take care of the police officers for me this year because because of the economy. So
Isn't it the same
if
thing?
you can do that for me, then think of the police officers for me.
Have we not taken care of the police officers?
Is
Is this a free event?
No.
We have been performing. That's why we have to charge. We are refused to pay. That's why.
What Coach is asking for is he's asking for a concession from the council. We've had this discussion. Every year his event is getting larger. The larger it gets, he invites more popular bands. It's controlled. He's done a very good job in complying with every request. In a nice way, he's asking for some funding.
What have you guys have to do?
It's the same thing we've been doing every year.
Yes.
We
So
wanna
why are
do-
you asking for the same thing
You want to
again?
do the same thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because because of the economy, we need
Coach,
full support this
you're
year.
asking
Like
for the
take care.
same thing, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, he's asking for us to fund the police.
Yeah, to fund the police.
Which we have not.
give-
Isn't it what they do in the past?
We don't, he pays for off-duty officers.
Off duties. Yeah.
Yes,
For
he
the
pays for that.
Okay.
But this year, I'm asking to
If we
council
can
to pay
for
it for me.
Well, I would offer this. Every year we have the same discussion. You come to us right before the event and make these requests. And I mean, at least this time it's 2 weeks out instead of the day before. But every year we've gone ahead and given it to you. And I think I'm comfortable giving it to you if you just stick with you're paying for the off-duty officers, and next year come back to it.
Earlier.
This has got to be year 8. I've said this now.
Yeah.
Come back to us earlier so we
Earlier.
can get that into the budget, and then it's cool. But now we'd have to go fishing to find money. So
Okay, make a motion.
move approval as long as the applicant is doing the off-duty officers at his own cost.
I second it. Let's go.
Anyone?
Hold on. You said you would give it to him.
It did.
Right.
No, the off-duty. How much it costs for the off-duty
not for the
pol-
off-duty officers.
How much it costs? the
On
off-duty?
15 to 2,000, 1,500 to 2,000.
We don't have that in our budget.
I mean, that's my only concern. It's that we've had this exact conversation every year that he's been doing it, and every year he comes back
Yep,
to us at the
for the
last
past 8
meeting
years.
in
They told me to
November,
come
and it's
No,
like
because
last minute.
that's when you put it on the agenda. I think he's been coming here for months, and
The manager was out of town.
down, and
That's what
it's not his decision to put it on the agenda. And I will make a motion for the city manager to do the same thing that we've been doing before,
But he's been
and on
doing
top of that,
it.
help him with the off-duty police. That's my motion.
So we give him free cops.
Okay, but
Can you
the
say-
year before he paid for it.
Right, he's always paid for the cops on his own.
Okay.
You have a motion before?
Read the motion.
There's a current motion on the table.
The motion that's on the table, made by Councilman Galvin, seconded by Councilwoman Sterrett, was motion to approve this item, but he must pay for off-duty police. That's what Councilman Galvin's indicated, and that's what Sterrett second. So do we want to remove that motion? What are we going to do?
Can we put a friendly amendment and pay also for the off-duty police?
No.
You know, I want to keep it to, out of all fairness to our budgetary process, and the fact that we've had this exact conversation for 6 or 7 years running, if he'd come back earlier, then I'd be a little bit more cool with it. I don't like making a non-budgeted expenditure for a for-profit event to pay for police officers to be there. I mean, he's making money off the event
Is it-
anyway, so throw a little cash to the cops and keep the economy humming.
I'm still want to put my friendly amendment.
As the maker of the motion, I'm not accepting the friendly amendment at this time.
I remove my second.
You remove.
Oh, I'll
Motion
second it.
died.
I give you guys 1 more minutes to finish with this.
Okay,
Councilwoman.
Councilwoman removed her second,
I'll second it.
replaced by Councilwoman Keith.
Okay. Hold on. We have a request for an event that has been happening since what year?
2006.
2006. And since 2006 to 2013, you have always paid for your cops.
Sometimes the city pay
Not cops, off-duty we're talking about.
of the officers. Yeah.
Whichever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes we
Now the city, sometimes the city pay for.
Okay. Those sometimes when you come, was it before budget or after budget?
No, it's always the same time.
It's always after, but it's
same
always
time.
right now.
Okay. So if there's
Councilman
sometimes...
Scott Galvin know that. Always the same time.
Okay. So if there's sometimes we do
Yeah.
and sometimes we don't, why can't this time we can?
Because of the economy, I used to have
Not he.
oh, not me. I'm sorry.
We can't.
I'm sorry.
I've got a motion on the table in a second. Why don't we vote it? It probably will fail, and then somebody can make a new motion.
Yeah.
Let's just get it going. So I'd call the question on my own motion if I might.
Anybody want a record or no?
No.
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 I got to get that from the mayor.
Motion
It
failed.
fell.
Motion
It
failed.
fell.
Motion fails 3 to
And
2.
I bring a motion for us to pay.
Go ahead, make your motion.
I make a motion to pay for the police and off-duty and officers, since it's a
The mayor
community
seconded.
event.
The mayor
You know, we have 100 of...
Where are we
Wait.
going to get the?
That's
where
not
are we
what
gonna
the
get
motion is.
2,000 down.
That's not what the motion is, to approve his project with the off-duty police.
Yes.
The $2,000 fee with of the off-duty police, because sometimes we do, sometimes we
Exactly.
This
To
time
approve
we
it
do.
with it.
Okay, you
Exactly.
second it.
We
I
don't
second it.
Anybody
we don't
would like
even
to
have-
record
we
a
don't even have an
no?
Roll
amount.
call. Anybody
It's-
wishes
it's
to
about
record a
to
no? Can we move on?
No.
We don't even have an amount of what
Motion
it's
Mr.
passed
about.
Clerk,
4-1.
Mr. Clerk.
No,
Thank you.
no.
Oh,
Okay, just to
3-2.
clarify for the record, because we got to go back and put this on the record. Galvin's motion failed 5-0.
No, it failed 3-2.
Okay, 3-2.
I voted for my own motion.
Okay, so 3-2. A second motion was made by Councilman Bieneme. This particular motion was to approve tab W and for the city to pay for the off-duty police. That motion was seconded by Mayor Thundro, and that measure passed 3-2.
And make sure that it represents $2,000. Is that correct?
No more than $2,000.
No more.
No more than $2,000.
Okay. Now, Biskin Landing, let's do it for it. Get it over with. Come on.
We've
guys.
already budgeted, we're
Tab
already
K.
giving them $1,680 towards their event in our budget.
Mr. Clerk,
And now you're,
Discussion regarding Biscayne Landing
but we're
soil
already
release.
giving him $2,000.
All right, guys.
Give him another 2,000?
We done. Can we move on?
Get
Order,
over it.
please.
Stop doing that.
Order, Ms. Keys.
Yeah.
Can we move on? Biscayne Landing discussion.
Go ahead, Mr.
I would like for Mr. Herb Tillman to come up, I'm sorry, Michael Tillman to come up representing the FRAC organization.
What about all the Tillmans?
There's only two of them.
Yes. The council asked me to come back at this council meeting for resolution regarding the soil. The only resolution that I can come up with the developer is that on common ground that we all agree on is that the soil on site will not be used in the lake.
Yeah, because our fish are swimming funny.
And turtles.
So,
And turtles.
we're not, that is as far as we were able to reach for the reason of, and he could read his statement that he read earlier.
Explain it again for me.
Wait a minute. Let me.
We have 192 cubic square feet of contaminated soil.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which is a violation of the lease agreement.
Correct.
Okay.
Is it?
Yes. it
Because
is.
according to the list, it doesn't say clean or contaminated.
Yeah,
From
but-
what I understand, what the
There is a
attorneys have said.
Infill definition.
I am asking, I'm just asking. Madam Attorney,
It violates environmental law. They cannot bring any soil that would violate
By
environmental law.
definition. called
By
clean
definition
fill.
of
Okay.
section 24.
okay, all right.
You guys are lawyers on me. Wow.
So
Go ahead.
you asked
When you went
me,
and negotiate with them, what happened?
I went to negotiate with them.
That's not
Um,
$1 million we were asking Mr. Swedler under the table from what he told Mr. Galvin.
Well, I think that the clarity needs to be is that it was never, ever our proposal for him to pay to use our system. That was Mr. Swerdlow's initial proposal, was to pay to use our system. When I asked him for how much was he talking about, he said 300,000. I asked him, where do you get that number? He says, out of the goodness of his heart. I, in return, said 1 million, and I got that number based upon it's $5 per yard. There's 200,000 yards out there. That's where we came up with it. However, when that came to this board, you all had several things that you were concerned about. Whether, number one was to go back and speak to the developer about removing it, or to what cost or how we would arrange in complying with Durham's study, if whether or not we would comply with their recommendation was to put it in the lake. The developer, Mr. LaFrac, evaluated all of the meetings, and he's thought that it would not be in the best interest of the residents of the project or this board,
Residents of what?
the residents
Of
of
what?
North Miami,
Oh.
or this board, or for marketing to even put it in the lake at all. So he has voluntarily elected not to use the soil into that lake.
So he's
It's
gonna
just too
remove it.
controversial.
He's going to remove it?
Well, what he is evaluating is whether to remove it or to explore other options, which is what he was not able to come to a conclusion with on this date. So therefore, he is asking for more time to come up with a resolution regarding the soil.
I don't understand that he he doesn't come to a conclusion what he's gonna do with it. So we're supposed to do what? Waiting for him to tell us what he wants to do, or he's waiting for us to tell him what we want to do?
He is exploring there was a comment made by Durham that soil could be used on the roadway.
What's the difference between the roadway and the rest of the land?
Because that type of soil, in Durham's, in one of their comments, it's buried. It's not. It won't have any exposure to the public because it would have a capping. So he's exploring that. We have a difference of opinion about it, but respectfully, it needs to be explored whether or not it can be used along that spine road or not.
But in the last, you're talking about a comment, but it's not a study from them. Previously, them authorized them by giving them a variance, since we have the groundwater remediation that can clean the soil.
That's correct.
Exactly. How come now they make a comment about using it for the wood?
Because one, using it in the lake was just too controversial in the eyesight of Mr. Lefrak.
Too controversial. But I thought the discussion that we had up here is regarding either not to use the contaminated soil on the land at all, or if he choose to use it, we were going to charge. I mean, if we choose to allow him or allow them to use it, we were going to charge them a fee in referred of using the system. But from what I'm hearing out there on the street is that Mr. Lefrak says that he will not negotiate with the city in terms of providing no fees. If he has to provide any type of money with the city, that money would go on a deposit, because his intention is to buy the land, is to buy the entire acreage, and or if we want to, we can always go to the court, or he can actually remove the entire contaminated soil on the land. So those are the things that I have been hearing out there. Am I right, guys? So right now, truly, I agree with them. I think that if they feel, if we asking them for money in order to use our system that's already built, which I heard CH2 and Mill says that the system was not built for aluminum, I agree with them. I think this council should come to an agreement to ask them to remove the contaminated soil.
Second the motion.
That's not a motion, it was a
And
comment.
I'll make it on a motion, yeah, for them to remove it.
Second the motion.
Would you like to hear from Mr. Tillman, Mike Tillman?
I don't mind, sure.
Over the past month, we've been working on trying to resolve several outstanding issues. One of those was the fill. Another was the Oaks that's been long outstanding. We have now, as you heard this evening from the receiver, we're there. We're dealing with legal comments and nits going through the document. But that's finally there. So we're politely requesting that we can get another month to work through the holidays, get this done with the city manager in a comprehensive solution to resolve not just the fill issue, but how to move forward on the entire project with regards to the potential for, one, amending the lease, because we now have a conceptual master plan that was approved by the city council, does not exactly agree with what the lease has. So the lease needs to be amended, and to look into the option to purchase the fee on the land, which is a proponent of the lease.
I think
You would like to have the, hold on, Mr. Bieneme. You would like to keep the contaminated field
Yep.
one more month under premises? Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
The fill will remain where it is under the, and be handled in the manner as described by Durham.
So if you decide that you're going to move it or you're not going to move it, I'm not getting it, because the idea,
as part of what we're doing is exploring all the options with the fill. There was a letter sent out by Durham back during the summer that offered different uses, as the city manager indicated, that don't require a variance for uses of the fill on the site. Those include being put under impermeable surfaces, such as padding for the spine road, being foundations underneath the buildings, which all are not susceptible to water.
But what we're discussing tonight is not about how Durham wants you guys to use the soil. What we're discussing is that you guys actually bring some contaminated soil to the land that we actually trusted you with, which is in violation to the contract and agreement that we have with you. Tonight, since last council meeting, we were nice enough trying to not even negotiate, to give permission to you guys, but apparently we were blamed or accused for being I think we were
trying to negotiate $1 million under the table. No, not us, the city manager.
And I don't think that was fair. So right now we wanted to do it on the table, on the dais, on TV, 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So what I think that's the best things to do to make sure that we clarify that not being crooks or none of these things that your company think that of us. So it's to actually, I already make the motion to remove the contaminated soil, that we don't have to deal with it, and whatever the future plan that your company have for the city, trust me, I have been in good support of this project since day one, and I will continue to support that project, but one thing at a time. Tonight, I'm just dealing with the contaminated soil. Next council meeting, you bring a nice project or anything else that you bring. Trust me, you can count on me
contract needs to be amended.
To support it as long as it's fair, it makes sense, and my constituent like it. No doubt, I will be the same person. But tonight, I only want to focus on the contaminated soil that's on the land. That's not fair, which you guys heard the last council meeting, how the constituent talked about it, how unsecure the field. And again, I think that it's 125.
Just based on discussion with our attorneys, we don't believe that we are in violation of the lease.
That's
okay.
We make a motion and
Mr. Clerk,
Scott seconded.
Are you with us?
I am, Mayor. So we have a motion. The motion, and I'm going to read it verbatim. Motion to direct Olita Partners to remove the contaminated soil from the Biscayne Landing site. That motion was made by Councilwoman Steril. It was seconded by Vice Mayor Galvin. Now we're voting on this motion right now. Councilman Bien-Aimé.
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys.
Yes.
Councilwoman Steril.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Galvin.
Yes.
Mayor Thundro.
Yes.
Item passes 5-0.
Okay. Now, where did I get that? Council report? Are we done with the agenda, Mr. Clerk?
We are, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Keys, report.
Good night, everybody.
No, you do your report.
Quickly, since we won't be meeting again, I will be having a turkey giveaway on my birthday, November 23rd, at Cagney Park, and so I'll be giving turkeys. And that's it.
Vice Mayor Galvin.
I just want to point to various boards. Dr. Alan Smith to the Library Board. Kathy Haga Artunian to the Quality Education Board. I'll just hand this back to you because it's the sheet you gave me. And I can't do the CRA board now because we're not in CRA board.
That's correct.
Okay. Other than that, go Pioneers, who have the district playoff game this Friday night. Football game, 7:30, North Miami Stadium. They finished the regular season 9-1.
Yay.
Thank you. Councilman Bien-Aimé?
No report.
Oh, Councilwoman.
No report, Madam Mayor. Good
I have
night,
a report.
everybody.
Excuse me.
I
Not
said
done.
no report.
I do have one. First of all, I would like to thank the North Miami Chamber of Commerce for the Taste of North Miami. That has been a success. Congratulations as well to all of our restaurants who participated. It was a wonderful event. For first, it was a success. Maybe next year we need to make it bigger, and definitely we will. Thank you also to all of you folks who participated yesterday at the Veterans Day ceremony. It was a very nice one at the Griffin Park. Thank you. I'm having a town hall meeting on Thursday evening here. That will be my first town hall meeting in the council chambers. And those of you who are still awake at home will be able to watch it on channel 77, of course.
What is it about?
And
What would it be about?
the concern of the constituents. I have not had a talk with them since I've gotten into office. We're having the World Diabetes Day on Thursday, November 14. There will be at the North Miami Public Library. It's open to the city employees from 3 to 5, and from 5 to 7 there's a flyer. Of course, we continue to walk, and this Thursday was gonna be the Walk This Way Bash. That's once a month. We have the nutritionists, and we have music and so on for all of those who have walked with us constantly. Councilman Bien-Aimé, I would like to congratulate you. Thank you for being so consistent in the walk. Inviting the rest of you to come and join us. Councilwoman Steril, Councilwoman Keys, and Councilman Galvin. We walk 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Monday at FIU North, Wednesdays at the Cagney Park, and Fridays at Claude Pepper Park, from 6 to 8. And we were hoping to reach 1 million steps, and I think we can, because in one walk, some of us have walked 10,000 steps in 2 hours. So I don't see why, 15 or 20 or 70 of us cannot reach the million if you all come and walk with me. And I'm insisting, it should be mandatory for employees to come and walk. You just don't know how good it is. We're going to have our 39th annual Thanksgiving Day parade on November 28th at 10 a.m. Registration is open for all those who want to participate. Would like to for you to contact Parks and Recreation to do so. What else do I have?
Motion to adjourn?
No. One thing again, I have asked the city attorney to look for me. We were trying to. There are 2 things that I would like for you to do, city attorney. One is that.
Go to sleep?
No. That's very important. One of them is that the city resolution regarding the pens down issue.
Okay, I can address that now, if you'd like.
They call it saggy pens.
No. Would you like me to address a little bit of that now?
No.
Yes, why not? Hey, it's only 1:30. We're here until 2. Come on, guys. Go ahead.
So, I'll try to say this briefly, if I can.
Thank you.
There's another city.
But perhaps not. So the mayor has asked me to explore.
Is doing it, and it's working well.
Okay, so the mayor has asked me to explore drafting an ordinance that would ban saggy pants in the city of North Miami. Currently, the cities of Riviera Beach and Opelika have similar ordinances.
So how do you enforce that?
So let me and that's one of the things I'm going to touch upon. So essentially, it would be not a crime, but a violation of some sort, whether it would be a fine. It would not be punishable by jail. If a person wears their pants, and you have to make a determination as to what the length of the height of the pants would be, and then your officers would have some sort of discretion to stop these persons and issue a ticket or issue a fine or some sort of violation. So here are some issues with this.
Or anybody.
That would be up to
Can we get a
you.
report at our next meeting? Honestly, it's 1:30
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah.
and I don't think any of us want to sag into the 2 o'clock hour. So
Can we have a
Why
report
not?
next
It's
council
up to
meeting?
the mayor.
Madam Mayor, please.
You're educating us. What's wrong with you folks?
About
because it's
what?
1:30 in the morning.
Come on, it's early.
It's
Come on,
parents.
guys.
Honestly,
Mayor, if they leave, I
We
won't get
taking
the votes for
parent
the
job.
board. I need to get them before they leave.
Oh, we need to vote for the board.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll
Next,
put it at the
next year.
discussion item for next
Yeah.
council meeting. And also, I would like for you to look into amending the zoning, no more beauty salon on 125th, or taxes,
Okay, so
tax services.
preparation.
Because if we're going to build a downtown, it cannot every other door to have a beauty salon. Let's be serious.
But is that
But what you wanna?
Yes, it's legal.
You wanna close? That's mean if. What about if the only person
Yeah, I
that
don't think
wanna
it's
rent it
Look
is a
into it
beauty
and come
salon?
back to us. It's 1:30 in the morning, and I want to have the right answers.
Oh, no, we're sleeping. That's
In
what I'm
terms of
thinking.
where a certificate of use, this is what I'm talking about. It
So-
cannot be every other door to be a beauty salon.
Permitted use.
But you could theoretically put that use in a different zone and
Right.
regulate it to the M1 industrial district
is
or something
correct.
like that, and grandfather anybody who's in. I mean, there's ways to do it.
Exactly. So
It's
this
just-
is the thing I would like for
It
you
is
to
an
Madam
art,
Mayor,
I
you know-
believe it's an art over, just a suggestion, it is an art overlay district, so maybe we could start prohibiting any future beauty salons and tax
In the arts
services
overlay district.
in the arts overlay district, which would cover our downtown area. That you could maybe do.
So we have two set of board appointments, one for Mayor Thundo, one for Mr. Galvin. We're going to start with Mayor Thundo. Mayor Thundo would like to appoint Richard Cumberland to the Parks and Recs Commission. May I have a motion in a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Anyone wishes to record a no? Item passes 5-0. Councilman, Vice Mayor Scott Galvin would like to appoint Dr. Alan Smith to the Library Board and would like to appoint Karen Artunani, to the
Catherine
Quality.
Artunian.
Catherine Artuni to the Quality Education Board. May I have a motion in a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
There is a
Can
motion,
we put
Galvin
Myrna
second.
on-
Anyone wishes to record a no? Item passes 5-0. Thank you, I'm good.
I need to, I thought I did this already, Myrna Pavlak for the Disaster Preparedness Committee. I thought I had already done that, but you still have a appointment.
Okay, so, and at this time, to Disaster Preparedness Committee, Councilwoman Keys. Did you get one of these, Carol?
I did.
May I have it? Do you have it on you?
No.
You took mine.
I
Can have
lost it.
back?
Okay, so Councilwoman Keys would like to appoint, what's the name?
Myrna, she's already on the list.
Myrna
Pavlak.
Pavlak to the Disaster Preparedness
Yes.
Committee. May I have a motion in a second, please?
So move.
Second.
Anyone wishes to record a no? Okay, thank you. I'm complete.
City clerk report.
No report, Mayor.
That was your report. City attorney's report. You just want to go home. What do you mean you don't have any report?
Let's go. I gotta get up early.
I thought you were gonna. Okay,
It happened.
so I'd like to announce that the school board has denied the city's application for a municipal charter school. I am in the process of appealing said denial, and
Under what basis have they denied?
they denied it on the basis that there is an interlocal agreement between the city and the school board, and that they interpret to mean that we cannot apply for a charter school. So on that basis, they denied it.
And we did expect that, Madam Mayor, before your tenure as the mayor. We know we had that discussion going back and forth with the school board, and right after your election, we had a couple of issues which I don't want to go into details. So we're expecting that. So it's not a surprise, but I'm asking the board to allow staff and the city attorney to exploring, other options to bring charter school to the west side. It lost staff and resources to continue to do so. So it's not the end of
Right.
it, but we will continue to work on other
So,
things.
right. So in addition to appealing to the state board, we can certainly explore other options to ultimately bring a charter school in the west side.
Thank you. That's it for your report?
Yes.
City manager's report.
Yes, very briefly, Mayor, thank you for your request for us to go out and find capital improvement funds
So you
and a
took
project
notes.
for a city center downtown. I did
Yes.
not
And-
get any opposing.
I am a great
And-
supporter of it.
And any downtown need to include
7th Avenue?
Dixie Highway from 119 all the way to 123rd by creating a big community center among Griffin.
But he's coming back.
That's what we
So
talking
we-
about there.
Explaining.
We're talking about.
I just
we-
wanted to confirm I'm not getting any
He's just-
opposing to your request.
Everybody's
Can
been
you name
talking
the
about this is
downtown
the
after
biggest
me as
event
well?
in the city.
Okay.
This city needs to move forward, and I'm sure, although people are afraid of changes, but God, nobody in this city would go and say they don't want a downtown. They don't want a nightlife.
And
Right.
they know that I have been fighting
And
for
we
that.
will
I'm
be
glad
moving
that you
forward.
two
We
come up.
found a
Especially
model.
District 2, who needs
Sure.
sidewalks so bad.
Sure. We found a
We
model
need
city.
big capital
It would be Fort
improvement.
Myers.
It's gonna
We
be
will
capital improvements.
We will be
Open
modeling
a
after
bridge
Fort
along
Myers. We'll
135th.
staff will
Are we
move
going to
All
go
the
to
way
Fort
to the
Myers
beach.
and look at it?
We will schedule that. Dr. Claude, based upon our conversation, I asked her to find out what city has done this similar to us. It's Fort Myers. So I will schedule a trip for us to go there. They do a tour.
Where?
They were in the same situation that we
No,
were
Fort
in.
Myers.
And
Where?
I
Fort
think
Myers.
Fort Myers. So I think that to model after that city and how they have gotten from the before and after, the design won't be the same, but at least the model of how they went about it. So we'll schedule that and we'll.
And can somebody design for
Both.
us what we're looking for? Something to
We
that.
will bring all of that to you. You'll be very
Next
happy.
month, we're going to have a report.
Yes,
Not
every month you will have a
beautification of
report.
125th.
We're not
Yes.
saying,
We're
we
talking
said,
about
Yes,
real
downtown.
Capital
downtown,
improvement,
real big
sir.
capital
Everything.
improvement.
okay.
Absolutely,
Because
And,
not just cosmetic thing. And
absolutely.
There was
And a
something else,
bridge
Mr.
on
Manager, that I wanted to.
125th going
Mr.
to the Miami
Bien-Aimé,
Beach.
you're preventing me from thinking by talking at the same time.
Oh,
There was one more thing. I can think of what it is. There was no motion.
it is.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yes. Yeah, cool.
It's not 2 o'clock yet. Come on, guys.
What's going on at home? Why you don't want to go home?
Because it's still early.